Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home. Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive, and boy, oh boy, I'm excited about today's show because it always is inspired by something really good in my life, even if it's something bad in my life, because by the grace of God, I learned to take things that might not be so good and turn them into lessons for living. And then I get to share them here, and that just reverberates the good nature of it, and hopefully it helps somebody, and that makes it good, right? Whether it's actually good or bad at the surface level. So first, before I jump into my topic today, I want to invite you to the Facebook tribe, the Heal Your Hunger Tribe on Facebook. Just type in Heal Your Hunger Tribe and request to join, and we'll let you in. So that's first things first. Second, we have an exciting thing happening. We're getting super close to episode 200. Now, this is a big deal, guys. Big deal. Episode 200 is coming, and I want to celebrate with you by having you as a guest on my show. So if you get benefit from this podcast in any way, shape, or form, please leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, and you can learn how to do that by going to YouTube and say, how do I leave a review on iTunes, or how do I leave a review on Stitcher? And go ahead, leave a review, take a screenshot of it. And if you don't know how to take a screenshot, go to YouTube and say, how do I take a screenshot? Trust me, everything I know comes from YouTube practically. But go ahead and learn how to do that. It's super easy. I know many of you listening are like me, non-technical, but guess what? We can learn thanks to YouTube, and thanks for the people, the somewhat nerdy people on YouTube who take the effort and time to leave little videos about how to do things that people like us don't know how to do. So go ahead, find out how to do a review on iTunes or Stitcher, however you access this podcast, and take a screenshot, email me that screenshot, and with your review, and you'll be entered to win. I also want you to email me a testimonial of how you've been helped by this show, okay? So whether it's, and not only the show, but if you're in my course, how the course has helped you, or my book, whatever it is, if there's something that the Heal Your Hunger message has in some way impacted your life, go ahead and write that out, send it to me at Tricia@healyourhunger.com, and you will be entered automatically to be on my show. And I'm super excited. We can take quite a few people, so don't think, oh, I would never get chosen. Not true. Go for it. Go for it. Play all out. If you listen to my last podcast, it's all about playing all out. So 100%. Go ahead and do that. It just takes a little bit of effort. I'm talking 10 minutes of your time. 15 minutes max. Put that effort in and enter to be a guest on my show. And the people who get chosen as guests will get prizes, like a swag bag. It'll be really fun, and it'll just be a celebration. So join us. And I'm telling you, I can take a good number of you. So please go ahead and enter. I'd love to have you. And it's going to be a celebration. We're going to have a celebratory show for show 200, episode 200. So thank you for that in advance. Don't delay though, because it's creeping up on us, and just do it now. Don't put it off. Go ahead and do it. 15 minutes of your time. So on to today's topic, which I'm really excited about. And the topic is, don't get bitter, get better. Now, if you listen to my last show, it's about my speak off and what I learned from my speak off, and especially what I learned from not getting chosen for the finals. So that was big stuff for me. I went through a lot of feelings. I cried. I felt it. I felt the disappointment, and then I felt gratitude that I played full out and got through those disappointing feelings, because they're only feelings after all. But I want to share something else with you. I just learned today, I just got an email being invited to be on a TEDx stage to share my message in a TEDx talk. Okay, big stuff. Big stuff. I'm so excited. I'm over the moon. I put in many applications, and finally somebody said yes. And I was getting discouraged there. Yes, another playing full out situation. I played full out. I wasn't getting anywhere. And then boom, in my email box was an invitation. So I accepted. I'm very excited. It's going to be in early fall, in late September. And I'm over the moon. Big accomplishment. I still have to do the talk, of course, but I'm prepared because I got the ball rolling with my speak off. So lesson number 1, I didn't get chosen for the finals in the speak off, but the energy I put in to getting, to hopefully getting chosen, and to preparing my talk, and to flying to Denver and giving my talk and doing the best I could, you bet your booties that energy went into the universal energy of my getting this TEDx talk acceptance. Okay, so it's all in divine order. Had I thought, I don't want to go through the effort of doing a 3-minute talk on this other speaking stage, I want to hold out for a TEDx talk, guess what? I'd still be holding out. But the fact that I said, no, this is an opportunity to play full out. This is an opportunity to speak. I take all opportunities because I want to get better. I went there. I did it. I got judged. I got reviewed. I got some feedback, which will help me get better as a speaker. So I just put one foot in front of the other and played. Okay. And so I believe that positive energy of playing, and saying yes added to this beautiful invitation that I received today to be on a TEDx stage. So my lesson in that is just say yes, play full out no matter what. So that's great. That's my first lesson that I want to share with you. But regarding don't get bitter, get better, that is a comment that was made by one of the speaking coaches at my speak off last week. Okay, Danny Brazel, who's an amazing speaker. He was a judge. He was a judge, but before he was a judge, he was the coach who listened to my talk in front of the other speakers and gave me feedback. Okay, he gave me feedback. I learned from that. I improved my talk. I didn't make it to the finals. But after the finals and after the winner was announced, each of the judges got a chance to speak. And and there were 30 plus judges, so it took a while, but he spoke. And one of his comments was, guys, you've put a lot into this. Don't be discouraged if you didn't win or you weren't one of the final. There were 3. There was a third place, second place, and first place. And he said, if you're not one of those, don't get bitter, get better. Use this as an opportunity to improve your talk, and get out there and make a difference. And when he said that, I wrote that down. I thought, that's a great line. Don't get bitter, get better. And it's such a good line because what do we do when we get hurt? What do we do when we don't, get the goal, make the goal, or get the prize, or get the acknowledgement or the credit? What do we do? Oftentimes we get bitter. And that holds us back because we're missing the lesson in the experience. And so I love that. And I want to share about that today because I heard him say that. I heard him. And I have to tell you, I was already doing that because when I didn't get chosen for the finals, when I felt my feelings, I cried. I did my 20-minute cry, got over it. What I recognized is I didn't get chosen for a reason. It's not that I was done wrong. It's not that I was overlooked. It's not that, I was discriminated against or any kind of that hooey. I wasn't good enough. That's why I was not chosen. I need to get better. And that's what I decided. I thought the people who were chosen were damn good speakers and they were better than me. I believe I came real close to getting chosen because I did a good job, but not good enough. And so I could have played that 2 ways. I could have had a chip on my shoulder. And let's be honest, I did for a short second, okay? When I didn't get chosen, I was going to be at that conference for another 3 days. And I have to tell you, I did go online and look at plane tickets. Yes, full disclosure, I did look at plane tickets and thought, I want to get the hell out of here. Like, screw this. I'm getting out of here. I'm not going to sit and listen to other people's talk. So, not going to lie, I wasn't all cheery at first. I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. I don't like losing. I'm not happy. So, I checked airline tickets. They were really expensive. I could not get out of Denver and go home because it would have cost me a lot of money. I had a good price on my ticket, my round trip ticket. So thank goodness, that's the upside of expensive last minute plane tickets. So I just had to buckle down. And after I had my cry and after I, got over kind of that sad and disappointed feeling, I decided I was going to cheer those speakers on. I was going to learn from their talks because obviously they're doing something I'm not doing and I can learn from them. And so I didn't get bitter. I got better. I wobbled there for a few minutes, but I got on the horse and I realized I can learn something from this and I can get better. And that's what I need to do. And so I want to ask you, what hurt have you experienced? What's happened in your life where you got bitter instead of better? Did you lose a promotion? Did you miss out on getting a promotion? Were you overlooked in some way? Were you jilted by a lover? Were you discriminated against? I mean, bad things happen, and we get a choice after they happen on whether we're going to get bitter or get better. We always have that choice. Okay, that's the beautiful thing. And as emotional eaters, unfortunately, we tend to get bitter because we don't deal with the hurt, right? We pack it in. We're like, oh, never, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's okay. I don't mind. I'm fine, right? These are things we say all the time. I'm fine, which if you know anything about that word, it's an acronym for effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. So if you're saying you're fine all the time, that's what that means, okay? Effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. You can just ponder that one or be reminded of it next time you say you're fine. But the fact is we do tend to bury our feelings, and that's when we get bitter, right? That's when we get bitter, is when we're like, I'm fine, it doesn't matter, no biggie, right? And we don't take the time to go to our room and cry and let the feelings out. And I'm not saying you have to cry over everything. I'm just saying that you do need to deal with it. Deal with it so that you don't turn bitter. Because if you get the hurt out, you write about it, you talk about it, you pray about it, then you can have a change in your attitude. Then you can get, focus on getting better instead of being bitter. And so important. One of the things that emotional eaters tend to do is we tend toward being a victim. Okay, it's really easy for us to fit in or slip into victim mode. And this is the worst thing that can happen for us, because when we slip into victim mode, we stay in victim mode. Many moons ago, Roy Nelson, spiritual healer Roy Nelson, who helped me, said, when we are acting the victim role, when we're playing the victim role, what we have is a big victim stamp across our forehead so that other people can come along and say, there's a victim for me to victimize. When we've got that stamp on our forehead, we walk into trouble. We walk into victimization, which means we're doing it. We're attracting it. How does that happen? Well, we're identifying with the victim role. We're playing the victim role. And so we attract victimization. People see the stamp and they come over to victimize us. And so our responsibility is to step out of that role. How do we step out of that role? By getting better instead of being bitter, okay? And granted, that's not always an easy thing to do. And I understand things happen in our lives that hurt us. And we do get, victimized. Things happen where we're at no fault whatsoever. But what we do with it is where we can take responsibility. We have a choice of whether we play the victim, we play our violin, we tell everybody we know about how we've been victimized, we milk the situation, and we feel sorry for ourselves. We get other people feeling sorry for us. This leads nowhere, okay, except overeating, okay? Being a victim will guarantee you a life of emotional eating and misery, okay? So just think about this. Being a victim does not serve us in the long run. Sure, it feels good in the moment. We get all sorry for ourselves, and other people give us sympathy and tell us how sorry they are and, oh, poor us. There's a saying among alcoholics who are in recovery, pour me another drink. Okay, so for any addict, being in the poor me's leads to self-destruction. Same thing with the food. So, do you want to be bitter? Do you want to get better? So that's the key. And the only way to erase that victim stamp across the forehead is to do the deeper work where you overcome, that sense of hurt. And there's definitely a formula for doing that. This is what I teach in my programs in 10 Weeks to Freedom from Emotional Eating and beyond. I have a formula for this, and people are doing it. They're stepping right out out of that victim role so they can get better and stop being bitter. And that just brings so much good into our lives. Had I been bitter after that experience at the Speak Off, I don't know that I would have received that positive, exciting email saying, yes, we have a stage for you. I think energetically, that happened on account of my getting better, my decision to get better instead of bitter. So important. So another example of this is, have you ever had a situation where somebody is trash talking you or bad mouthing you is another way of putting it? You maybe overhear somebody gossiping about you, or you read something, an email sent to you that wasn't supposed to go to you and it's about you, or some situation, you hear some girlfriends talking, you overhear them, or I don't know what, or somebody reads you the riot act, somebody to your face tells you things about yourself, in anger, and it hurts. And you're like, screw them, right? Screw them. I can't believe they said that about me. Now, you have a choice in that situation to go on a tirade of victimization, and these people are trash talking me, and this is not fair, and screw them, and I'm going to get even. I'm going to take revenge on them. We have a choice. And I have to tell you that over the years, I have turned this kind of situation. It doesn't happen often, thankfully. I don't think too many people are trash talking me. I'm sure it's happening somewhere in the world, but I don't find out about it too often. But anytime somebody has been confrontational with me and kind of mean or cutting or biting towards me, I've had a choice of whether I'm going to be defensive and angry, which I have gotten defensive and angry, but there's another way to play that, or I can be defensive and angry and then go into this next stage, which is to look for the truth in what they're saying. Okay, so this is how we get out of victim mode. Sure, be angry for a little bit. It hurts. It hurts for people to be mean. It hurts for people to take our inventory. It hurts for people to say, negative things about us, or not appreciate our efforts, or just, slam us for something. And especially if they don't really know the situation and they're just being judgmental. Hurts like hell. So get those feelings out, but don't stop there. Okay. My experience is anybody who's ever been critical of me has had some basis. Okay. What they've said has had some truth in it. And that's what I look for. If somebody is, going to town on me, judging me, even though it hurts, I do try to look for where there's some truth to it, because frankly, I need help sometimes seeing my blind spots. I need help to see, or at least pay attention to the things that aren't working in my life. We all have defects of character. We all have blind spots. We all have ways of being that are not very attractive, that we're overlooking, and especially as emotional eaters. And that's part of the reason why we eat. We don't want to see the truth. We don't want to see the truth. So we're eating and covering up the truth and just acting like, la, 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 everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just a peach. And my husband told me many years ago, you don't know what you're like. He said, you don't know what you're like. And he was right. I didn't know what I was like because I was too busy patting myself on the back, breaking my arm, telling myself what a peach I am. And so anytime somebody has been negative, I've tried to see the truth in it, because I can't always see, that's what blind spots are about, is we don't always see the truth about us and the ugly truth. And we need to see it. Okay, I'm not saying that we need to go around beating ourselves up. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have blind spots, and those blind spots, the things that we're doing that are negative, that are self-sabotaging, when we don't see them, we continue to stumble and fall. So the best thing we can do is look at them squarely so that we can get rid of them. And that's why I've felt somewhat, serviced by people who have been negative toward me and said mean things about me, because there's always a grain of truth in it. And so that's what I try to focus on. Sure, deal with the hurt, but then look for the truth. Where can I improve? Somebody obviously saw something in me that isn't very attractive, or that might have offended them. I need to take a look at that. And if I do, I can get over it, and then I can move on with my life and feel better about myself and not have to overeat over those blind spots that I'm refusing to see. So super, super important that we look for the lessons. We don't get bitter, but we look for ways to get better. And that's really my message for today is, where in your life, do you have the opportunity to take that turn in the road where you're going to, see how to improve yourself instead of falling into victim mode? So, so important. This is critical stuff. And this is everything to do with emotional eating, okay? So you know me, I'm always talking about things that really seem like they have nothing to do with emotional eating. I'm not talking diet and weight loss here. I'm talking about the real stuff, the stuff that drives us to the refrigerator unconsciously. It's this stuff. We got to get conscious. We got to start working on ourselves. We got to start seeing the things that aren't so pretty to see. And I'm telling you, it will pay off big time. Sure, it hurts a little bit. It's a little ego bruising, no question about it. But in the long run, you'll be so helped by looking at the truth squarely and deciding to get better instead of bitter. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure being with you here. I love you so much. Thank you and have a great day.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.